Hello, welcome. Let's look at what is AWS. So, if you are actually trying to host a service, right, you would be requiring a server. So, essentially, any internet based business is a client server communication. So, let's say you have a customer who is using a client like mobile or a laptop, which will be the client, and basically you are actually watching this video on YouTube. So you are actually connecting to YouTube, which is a service. So when you connect to the YouTube and you request for a video, then it would actually stream the video back to you. So that is a client server communication. So if you are making a purchase in Amazon, right? So you go to their website either through an app or a laptop, and you request for information on what are the products available. Then it would actually send the product listing to you, and later you select a product and make a payment, and then Amazon will basically send a confirmation back to you and later ship that product to you. So this is also basically a client server communication. Let's say you want to host your service, right? So and you want your client to basically use your service, so you need basically a server. So you probably need one server which your mobile client will communicate with you, and you may be hosting it in your data center. And basically you need to basically estimate like how much of your servers you want, and then probably you may need 3 or 4 servers over a period of time, and you have to plan the initial capacity and then connect those servers. And maybe you need a database server, and you may need a messaging server. Connect all those infrastructure and keep it ready. So basically, let's say over a period of time, right, your application has gone viral, and you have millions of customers trying to access this, and this may not be scalable, and you need lot of servers. So since these are all physical servers, you need to go and procure those servers, and it's going to be a time consuming process. How do you scale fast? So that's the question it comes to. Then comes the solution of cloud, which can actually provide many servers over a short period of time when your application is ready to go viral. So what Amazon has done is basically they have built a data server here, and which would actually have servers like what you had, right? Many servers in their data center, actually thousands and thousands and thousands of them. And what they did is that they actually created lot of data centers like this, and then they have connected these data centers with high speed network connectivity. Okay, so these have thousands and thousands of servers over here. And what they did is that they actually run virtualization server on software on this. So what Amazon uses is called KVM based hypervisor server. So those virtualization server, they run on these data centers. And all these data centers, when they have connected, they call this as an availability zone. Okay. And similarly, they have lot more data centers which are clubbed into another availability zone, and one more availability zone. So these are all interconnected. Okay, and basically the multiple data centers contribute into a one availability zone, and multiple availability zones are clubbed into a region, and this region is a physical location in a particular city in a particular country. So they have these kind of regions across the world. So they have regions in North America, one North America, two like Ohio, Chicago, like that. And similarly, they have uh, regions in Europe. They have regions in Asia. So they have lot of regions across the world. So what they have done is, since all these data centers across the regions run on a virtualization software, so they actually get access to the huge set of pool of resources, which actually contributes to, if you visualize that as a pool of resources, it would look like millions of CPUs are available, right? Millions of CPUs are available, millions of uh, RAM space is available, millions of disk space is available, right? So tons and tons of computing power is available at the disposal through software. So now, if you want to create a data center kind of architecture within the cloud, right? When you go to AWS and say, I need uh, similar servers there, so they can actually provision virtual machines of similar capability for you through the software, right? So all this you can actually connect. So these are all virtual uh, servers. Okay, so if you need a server of a certain capability, uh, like 8 CPU and 16 GB RAM, right, and 1 TB disk space, right? If you need a server like this, yes, they have computing power which can be able to create this. And if you want to later expand and add more, let's say your application has gone viral and you need 100x of these, right? And they will be able to provision because they have a lot of computing power. And if you want to create a data center very similar to that, you can actually create a uh, virtual data center. Like, you can create a virtual data center of your own, right? So this is called virtual private cloud. So you can have your own cloud within the AWS cloud. So to able to provision this, right, what Amazon has done is, using this pool of virtual computing power, they have created lot of services which enable you to provision these servers on your own, right? So they have created a service called S3. So if you want to store files in the cloud, they can actually use S3 service, and then that can actually redirect that request to the data centers across the world to able to store the files that you requested. Similarly, they created a service called EC2, so which will help you actually create virtual machines over the internet. Then they have RDS service, which enables you to store the data. So very, very similar to that, they also have services for machine learning. They also have services for big data. So they also have services for blockchain. So they have similar services, almost 200 plus services available for you to use in the cloud. So basically, there are three main points that AWS supports. One is pay as you go. So what this service does is that, let's say you are actually when you originally started, right, with one or two servers over here, right? You started with one or two servers, and then you don't have to have a upfront cost to set up your whole data center. You can start with one or two servers. Then let's say your application has gone viral and you spiked up, right? You need 100 servers, 100x servers, and AWS can provision that. And later you actually optimized your code and you basically had a better architecture later, and you want to reduce the number of servers, you can do that. And later, as you're stabilized, if you have any new product launch, or have a festival season and you want to spike the number of servers to be ready for that throughput, then you can actually add some more servers, and then you can continue at whatever level you want. So that is what it pay as you go. So when you are using one or two servers, you pay for that. When you are using 100 servers next month, you pay for that. And later, after 1 or 2 months, you want to reduce that, you can do that. So whatever servers, number of servers you are using at that time, or whatever services you are using at that particular time, you pay only for that. That is the benefit of pay as you don't have to basically set up upfront and bear with that cost whether you use it or you don't use it. And you have like 200 plus services that you could use. So as you've seen, right, there are 200 plus services that you can use for your application. So the third one is global infrastructure. So as you've seen, right, they have regions across the world. So based on your needs, like if you have more customers in that particular region, let's say in Europe, you can host the on the servers on that Europe region. If you have customers in North America, you can host it in North America. If you have customers in more customers in Asian region, you can host it over there. Similarly, they have more regions across all continents. And if you have a legal or compliance requirement for that particular region, then you can deploy code very specific to North America. Similarly, you can deploy code very specific to Europe region. So that gives you the ability to comply with the local land of the law as well. They have significant global infrastructure as well. So this is what AWS is. Thank you for listening.